If you watched my previous video, you'll see that I got to this point and it's see-through, and I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, it needs some fine-tuning, but I just wasn't happy with it. It just didn't give me the look I was hoping for. I liked the streaking and all, but I just didn't really go for it. So I have redone it, and I'm going to show you how I did that in this video. And a lot of it is just a work process, so I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. If you have any questions about what I did or any problems I might have had, I try to cover that. But if I don't, please ask those questions in the comments, and I'll be happy to get back to you on that. For some reason, I don't always reply to the individual directly, and I don't know why the application does that, but I'll definitely respond. So I do read every comment, and hopefully this will help you with your next project. This one was quite unique, and I hope you enjoy it. What I'm going to do now is add more layers on this, because this is just way too thin. It may not have that streaking look, but that's okay. There's something I could have mixed into it. I think silicone would have made it thicker, but again, pouring and thick isn't always amenable. What I've done is I'm going to have to do each side like this, so this will happen in 4 days. I'm putting these blue tape around here to prevent it from going over the edges. And this time I can smear it a little bit so it looks more unusual. It doesn't have to have the streaking. I could lower this setup so it pulls down a little bit. I may do that to try and still maintain some streaking. I'll see how it looks. I can always move this later without getting sticky stuff all over. For those of you artists out there, you know in the process of creating, you may change your mind a few times. This is one of those examples. I started out thinking I would do a pole at the top part of this, and then I thought, I've done something where I have 2 different light sources in one lamp, and it's possible, but I think I'm better off taking and putting the same kind of, just a straight on-off thing without a plug, without a pull like this thing has. Anyway, I just thought I should share this because the process of creating is evolution, and this was one of those things that I changed my mind on. So I have laid out 4 different cups with different colored material in it. The blue, which is the base, and then I think yellow, silver, and a red rust color I did for this. And now I'm making a pour. This is a 1-to-1 pour. I use the thinner part first, and then I put the thicker part on top, and it's just easier to pull the thinner part up into the thicker part when I'm stirring it. And I think I stirred this for maybe 2-3 minutes. It's a total of 3 or 4 ounces. I don't remember exactly, but I use this and mix it up, and sorry, and then I pour the solid color on first. So once I mix up the part A and the part B of the resin and it's clear, I put each container that has different colors and materials in them. Pearl-X pigment, I think I said that in the previous video. And you can buy that stuff on Amazon. But it's great stuff, and it has this pearlescence to it, so it's a shimmering quality. It's really quite beautiful. But some of these are just solid colors, like my base, this one right here. So I couldn't get this to work, so I opened it up. I probably should have just cut off the tip, but I didn't. And it was really, really concentrated. And I probably should have loosened it, thinned it out a little bit more with more resin, clear resin, but I didn't. In any event, it turned out okay, so I'm not unhappy with it. Very rich color, you can see right there. And what I ended up with was, I don't know, a beautiful piece. You'll see it in a minute. Just set that off to the side. I might need that for something. I'm just going to spread this around. Not going to get it up there on that piece. I want to keep that piece nice. I could put the heat on this. That'll help thin it and spread it. This is working okay. So once I get this base pour on, I first of all remove my gloves, because you know what? Removing your gloves and starting over is the best thing to do when you're working with resin, because it is messy. Sticky and messy, and everything you touch, it seems, well, for me, it seems to get all over everything. So I remove my gloves. But after I get that done, I start to pour these individual cups that I have mixed up, and just randomly, there's not really any rhyme or reason. What I do then is use a hairdryer, and that just pushes everything together and gives you this blended, almost ethereal, cosmic kind of a look, and I just think that's beautiful. And well, you'll see. You can let me know what you think in the comments. Like I said earlier, there's no rhyme or reason as to when and how I pour these, because when they get blended together with a hairdryer, and I use it on high, by the way, there's no rhyme or reason. So you're just kind of playing. It's fun, because you can't be guaranteed of what it looks like. I think it always turns out kind of cool, but and it's a mixture of colors, so they don't stay solid. I mean, think of Monet versus Gauguin, if you're at all into art. That's kind of the difference. I tried the torch first, but it caught the blue tape on fire, as you can see, so that wasn't a good option. That's when I converted over to using the hairdryer. Like I said, blending is a random mix of whatever you get, but if I had to rethink this, which I did on the next pours, I didn't use the blue tape. It just wasn't holding well enough. So, and I was getting my hands really messy too, but I wasn't wearing gloves like I just recommended you do, so that was pretty stupid. Anyway, so all that's separating is from the isopropyl alcohol. This is 91%. It sometimes does circles, but it didn't do that. But it does look fractured, and it just looks pretty cool. I do have a leak there, and I'm trying to stop it. And I had a leak here. It's dripping all the way down, which I don't care about. It's still leaking here. I gotta try and stop that. So I put a piece of black duct tape up there. I'm holding it, will hold it back. I haven't seen any more drips down there, so that looks okay. This is okay too. And over here, it's still dripping. I have to address that. I think that'll stop it. And I think I'll use duct tape around the top next time. Instead of this blue tape, I'll put duct tape all the way around. So I'm going from this to this. And I'll see if it, I'm going to put my phone on. The light on. So it looks like it's pretty opaque. You can't see through it at all. Oh well. I'm gonna let this sit for about 15 minutes, come back outside, see if I have any leaks, new leaks. And if I don't, I'm gonna let it sit for a while. It'll be good. So here I'm taking off the blue tape, and it was not easy, which is why I switched to a different process after this. I'm just using clear packing tape in the future. You'll see that in a minute. Right now I am just peeling away and carefully trying to scrape this blue tape off and leave the resin obviously in place. And I have to say though, this process of using the CA glue to hold this shade shape firm was brilliant. I'm so glad that I tried that and did that, because I've had problems with these shapes in the past. I have done other lamps. I will try to remember to put a playlist in the end of this video so you can click on the other lamp projects that I've done and you can check those out. Please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the bell button. I appreciate it. Thank you. So this is the next day where I decided the blue tape just wasn't going to work. Actually, I decided that yesterday. So I'm using packing tape, and that seems to work quite well. And you'll see in the future, the other three sides, that it was a huge deal changer for me. And I didn't have the leaks, and so packing tape. There's all kinds of tough tape, all kinds of tape that you can use. I've used different kinds. This is what I had on hand, so I used what I had. But it was a brilliant choice. Good move. And now I'm thinking that I need to figure out how to make this thing so it tips down toward the bottom side of the shade or hood, whatever you want to call it. And so I was trying a cup, something that was empty. This was empty, so see how it's rolling toward the bottom of the hood. That was very important, but not so much that all the resin would just flow off. So I had to find a perfect balance. And again, this is just so incredibly messy. It's better to make sure it's staying in place than going all over. fairly pretty. Gonna spray some more acetone on it. Beautiful. So here I'm just taking apart this, pulling off the tape, and I just had a mess. You can see those bottles I was using to support it. I had to try to remove that with the isopropyl alcohol, which does work. It is a thinner for this resin. It's still a terrible, messy job, so keep that in mind when you're doing it. If you've done it, that's great, but it's temperature based. I turned the temperature from 65 in this area up to 72 in the hopes that it would dry better. So there's a few conditions, and experimentation may be your answer in the end. So I'm going to do this side next, and I'm just going to knock off these nubs because I think they'll stick up too high. I might just be able to do it easily with a tap. It should do it. Don't want to hit it too hard because you don't want to break this structure. That turned out nice, and they all look good. I have to mess with the corners. Not sure how I'll deal with the corners. I'll have to remove some of this glue from the tape. But I'm gonna let this dry. These are hardened, but where I had the tape, that needs to dry more. So I'm just gonna leave this for a couple of days. I think I'll just set it on top of the lamp, kind of what it's going to look like. Just the lamp. Still working on that, but I'll let this dry for a couple of days so even this gets firm, the edges get firm, and then I can come back and sand them and remove the rest of this glue, probably with goof off or something. I don't think it'll hurt the resin, and so I'm going to leave this for a couple of days. A week maybe. So I ran this hood through the sander, the belt sander, smoothed out the edges, Gotta get some mineral spirits and get this tape off. And you can see that it's kind of nasty. I don't have any of that, so that'll have to happen. Also, one side, this side was really thick, so I cut off that on the bandsaw. But I'm going to leave these edges here that are drippy. I'm going to leave those there. And you can see part of this. I have to go over it with, what am I going to use? I'm going to cover it with it's a clear gloss spray for plastic, so it will adhere to this. But I need to remove this tape and a few other things before I do that. Now, underside doesn't look great, but I was thinking about painting it black because for sure there's a light up there and you can't see that. See the light? You can't see that through there at all. So painting it black should not be an issue. And I think I'll use an oil base so it sticks to the plexiglass here. I have to put the images in last because I have to run the cord down along this corner over here, kind of like that, but the images have to be in there, so that'll be the last part of this video. But maybe you can imagine how cool this will look. And the resin top is great. I put just Danish oil here, and you know, that'll smooth out. If that doesn't work, I'll end up wiping it down and put some poly, but I don't have any poly, so right now it's Danish oil. But it looks beautiful. I love this look.